She says that you're old for toys.
On Friday we go to the Comedy Zone with the homeboys Alice, Smith and Jones.
Now, what would you like, sir? I've got Retsina with a drop of paraffin, paraffin with a drop of Retsina, and of course the straight paraffin.
And I think if we were to be totally honest, we'd be quite happy only ever existing as a studio band, you know, and really being quite faceless.
To EMI, I don't know that we really thought we'd have huge success. I think, yeah, you sort of think two things at the same time. One, I think we thought we were really good songwriters and that anything could happen and maybe we would have a lot of success. And at the same time, I think we also thought that we'd probably be chucked off EMI after a year. And so you just kind of see what happens, really. I mean, people always talk about, emphasize success. When you're doing it, the idea of success is not really in your head, or it wasn't with us, you know. I think we really felt that we'd probably be some sort of cult dance group, which would be a bit of interest in probably all over the world in various places, you know. I don't think we thought we'd be a huge mass success, because we didn't really feel we were making those kind of records. Firstly, we've never wanted to be a proper group, so I'm quite happy that people say that. You know, we've always felt the rock music is so dominated by a cliched way of working that, you know, the album to an album sort of approach, that it's quite nice not to do, that we deliberately didn't want to do, to work within all of that. And, you know, although I occasionally go to concerts, you have to be very careful because it's easy to drift into becoming what we regard as being a sort of tragic pop star, in that you're always asked to do, people always want you to do photographs where you're smiling all the time. You have to do a lot of things, obviously, for teenage magazines and things like that, which we quite like doing. But you can get pushed, and people try to push you into doing things like, I mean, in Italy, for instance, they always want you to jump up and down, and because they think that's what pop groups should look like, and they want to have brightly coloured backgrounds, and we don't do things like that because it's not what, you know, what we feel comfortable doing. And so we've constantly had to fight over the last 3 years to do what we want to do, not what other people want to do.
There was this, you know, as I said before, this French and Saunders thing, and it's just so horribly lifelike is what we are. I thought, I've got to change, you know. In fact, I thought at that point, I thought we can't perform again, you know, because it's just, you know, it is a bit pathetic. It's always the same, I suppose.
Duran Duran are stars. Spandau Ballet were stars. And, you know, they behaved like stars, which is sort of a good thing in a way for pop groups. I think it's, in some ways, it's part of the job of a pop group to be glamorous. And those groups do it well. But it's something that we don't do. It's why we probably don't categorise ourselves as other groups.
I just don't feel comfortable with it. I mean, just doing this interview, I don't feel very comfortable. I prefer not to have to say, you know, I don't really like talking about myself, and I don't really like, you know, sort of going to public places as a Pet Shop Boy. I feel very, very uncomfortable with that kind of thing. You know, because I've always enjoyed being part of the crowd, you know, and being in a pop group, you know, it separates you totally from that.
I mean, there are various decisions that you can make about this. You can make a decision to be in the papers every day if you really want to be. And we don't want to be. We don't really seek that kind of fame. And although we've had a lot of success, we can still walk down the street with no problem at all. And it's because we've kept publicity to a minimum. There's still been quite a lot of it, but in terms of pop music, it's definitely a minimum. And also, I think people respect if you have some kind of integrity in what you do and you don't flaunt yourself for the sake of it. I think people kind of respect that. I know I respect people like that.
I think that's something about the Pet Shop Boys, is that we don't really participate particularly. I think that we just observe. We're like voyeurs, really. And I think that's one of the reasons we're not fully fledged pop stars, is because we aren't it at all. I mean, we kind of watch it, you know, we kind of stand to the sides and observe it, you know, and talk about it a lot, you know, about other people and things. But we aren't really it ourselves. And the record companies quite often wanted us to have a party, you know, so at least they can give us these discs that we've got. And one of the reasons we never actually get down to it is because we couldn't face arriving at it, you know, because of this kind of clamour that there'd be in there, you know, all that kind of thing.
Lost in the high street, where the dogs run, roaming suburban boys. Mother's got a hairdo to be done, she says they're too old for toys. Stood by the bus stop with a felt pen in this suburban hell. And in the distance, a police car to break the suburban spell. Let's take a ride and run with the dogs tonight in suburbia. You can't hide, run with the dogs tonight in suburbia. Break a window by the town hall, listen to siren screams. There in the distance, like a roll call of all the suburban dreams. Let's take a ride and run with the dogs tonight in suburbia. You can't hide, run with the dogs tonight in suburbia. We get involved in the details of what we do to a surprising extent, maybe compared to other groups, because we believe really that you can't project yourself the way you want to project yourself and do what you want to do really unless you know what's going on and you're telling people this is what I want to do and we'll do it this way, this way and this way. I mean, people often say that we manipulate the media. You know, I don't really think anyone's really thought through what they mean by the term manipulating the media. You know, are we manipulating the media by appearing on this television program? I don't know, but I'm certainly not conscious of it.
When do you go to Japan? Do you have any plans?
Yeah, we're coming to Japan in October, is it?
Yes, towards the end of October, about the 23rd or something.
Are you going to do a concert?
No, we're just doing promotion.
We're doing interviews and television and stuff like that.
10月の終わりにはっきり日にちは分からないそうですけども、コンサートじゃなくてプロモーションで行かれるそうですから、皆さんぜひ会いましょうっていうことで、はい、ご一緒をもらいたいと思います。Would you please get ready for song now? Thank you very much. ね、ということでもう会話なんて聞いちゃったんでびっくりしたんですけども、その辺のことは全然問題ないようですし、日本に10月の終わりに行かれるということなんで皆さん楽しみにしてくださいね。わかりました。はい。はい、それではお待たせいたしました。ペットショップボーイズです。It's a sin。お願いします。
I've always been the one to blame.
the winner of the best British group, yes, the Pet Shop Boys.
To be honest, to an extent, it's utterly meaningless. It would mean more probably if it was all voted by the public. But even then, it's only voted by the kind of people who vote for things. So I don't know. I mean, it doesn't mean to me that we are the best group in Britain because it says at the BPI Awards. At the same time, it's quite nice to, you know, that the music industry says that this year they think you're the best group, I suppose. But then, of course, you're suspicious that the music industry think you're the best group. It makes you think, what if you're doing something wrong if they like you so much?
Yeah, I went this year. Well, it's difficult to come up with enough excuses 2 years running not to go, you know, and you get a lot of people persuading you to go. But actually this year we thought it'd be a good opportunity for us to perform What Have I Done to Deserve This with Dusty, because we'd never done that before. And we thought if you're going to do it, you might as well do something that's kind of an event, you know, something that's special.
You always wanted a lover. I only wanted a job. That was what I would live there. How am I gonna get through? How am I gonna get through? I come here looking for money. Got to have it. Ended up leaving with love. Oh, oh. Now you left me with nothing. Can't take it. How am I gonna get through? How am I gonna get through?
I bought you drinks, I brought you flowers, I read your books and talked for hours. Every day so many drinks, such pretty flowers. So tell me, what have I done to deserve this? What have I done to deserve this? What have I?
Since you went away, I've been hanging around. I've been wondering why. I'm feeling down. Went away. You should make me feel better, but I don't know how I'm gonna get through this. How I'm gonna get through this. You always wanted me to be something I wasn't. You always wanted too much. Oh, oh, now I can do what I want to forever. How am I gonna get through? How am I gonna get through?
At night the people come and go, they talk too fast and walk too slow. Chasing time from hour to hour, I pour the drinks and crush the flowers. What have I done to deserve this? What have I done to deserve this? What have I?
The reason the film came about was because we were going to tour, and the record company were going to film the tour and then put that out as a video. And when we didn't tour, they still wanted some kind of film made. And originally it was just going to be a 60-minute film of us in some kind of concert situation. When we met the director, Jack Bond, he didn't really want to be restricted by that kind of thing. And he said, well, let's just make a film anyway.
At the time, we weren't really thinking it would get a massive cinema showing. We were thinking about it more for the television and for video later on, and maybe it would get shown at one little cinema in London or something. By the beginning of the year, though, we'd had another #1 hit, and then we had another #1 hit, and suddenly there was a lot of interest to show the film at the cinema.
The honeymoon special, sir. One careful lady owner, a nun from Our Lady of the Sorrows Convent. You can phone and check for yourselves, but of course she's vowed to silence.
How much? We play a stylized version of the Pet Shop Boys. You know, we play the public image of the Pet Shop Boys, so a very stony face throughout it. And so, you know, it wasn't too embarrassing doing it.
How would you be intending to pay, sir? A credit arrangement? A banker's draft? A part exchange, perhaps? Lucky Jim credit cards? Green Shield stamps? A hostage exchange? Postal orders? Beads and necklaces?
Cash? How much?
Cash? 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 Oh, well, for cash, about £3 grand.
500.
It's a deal. Oi! Oi, you! Stop there! What God has joined together, let no man put asunder.
Token bingo, play it now. The more you win, the bigger the prize. They're falling down before your eyes. Token bingo, play it now.
It's very gloomy and frightening, and again, he's following the mood of the songs. I think a lot of our songs are very melancholy and gloomy, because I suppose we feel melancholy and gloomy about the way society is today, and ourselves within it. And, you know, you quite often feel under attack, and I think that's again is part of the reason for the film descending to a kind of war thing, and us being attacked. I think Jack Bond has some idea that we're kind of representing the artistic world here under attack from Mrs. Thatcher's government, which I think is undoubtedly true, with funding being withdrawn and things like Clause 28 bringing in censorship of the arts. You know, we do live in quite gloomy times, I think, really.
For the deed to be done, you can give it all up for a place in the sun. Calls will be miles away on a plane to New York and another day.
I'm quite pleased that we've done it, though, in that we've always looked in the past for ways of doing things differently. And I don't think, to be honest, anyone has ever really made a film like this. Certainly in pop music. Maybe since Ken Russell was doing things like Tommy.
Eat up, love! Ooh, I will miss you, Chrissy, baby! Yeah!
Someone has to pay. Let's run away. Let's not go home. Let's run away.
I always think it's rather naff when pop groups start going on about being subversive, because any pop group that says they're subversive is normally not the slightest bit subversive.
Well, I think our music is subversive, actually, and I think that what we're reacting to is sterile rock music, which has become very establishment. Particularly in America, rock music isn't challenging at all. It has nothing fresh to say, and it's just part of the, you know, if you switch on MTV, it's just part of the room furnishings. It has nothing challenging at all, and I think this kind of thing is typified in something like the Prince's Trust concert, you know, where all the current rock stars are so establishment, you know. I mean, they're challenging absolutely nothing.
You phone me in the evening, I'm here to say that you bought me caviar. You took me to a restaurant off Broadway to tell me who you are. We never ever argue, we never calculate the currency we've spent. I love you, you pay my rent. I love you, you
when we would stop would be when we got bored or fed up with the whole thing. If our record stopped selling totally, we might become disillusioned, but we wouldn't necessarily become bored, I don't think. I think what we might do then is to do something like start a dance label and make records with faceless groups, and we'd probably quite enjoy doing that, actually.
Every time